loves, welcome to my channel. My name is Kat and we are going to be going over the workouts that I had the past week, and hopefully you guys will walk away with some inspiration, maybe some tips for your own workouts. And let's just get started. All right, first workout, I did film quite a bit in vertical because I wanted to post on Instagram. So apologies if that bothers you. Anyway, I started out with some muscle ups. I did as many as possible. I was only able to get 5 the first set and then 4 on the next 2 sets. So not the best, but also not the worst because I am just recently getting back into training them. Then I moved into 2 sets of typewriters and I did, again, as many reps as possible for this. I love this movement so much, but my elbows don't, unfortunately. So I don't do them as much anymore because I do feel that strain in my elbow after, but I only need a little bit of rest and then it's back to normal. Then I did these push-up to push-backs. In the first 2 sets, I did 15 reps. And then the last set, I believe I did 12. Next up, I went into these bar traverses, and I love doing these for my biceps especially. This is a movement I did a lot, especially when I was ninja training, and I did as many as possible. These are so good to work the endurance of your lats as well as your biceps and your forearms. So if that's something that you are wanting to train, I really recommend this movement. Then I finished out this day with some fan flow, and I had so much fun with this today. Then I was very excited that I made bread in our bread maker. It is the first loaf that I have made for us, and it turned out so good. So I know I showed you guys some sourdough before, but I was really happy about this regular plain old bread that I made. The next day, I could feel that my body did not want to do anything intense, especially since I had a more heavy day the day previously. So I did some Indian club work as well as some hooping this day. I am loving the Indian clubs because my shoulders feel so good when I do this, and I can definitely feel a difference in my posture as well as just the mobility of my shoulders already. So I'm super excited to keep on continuing and seeing the benefits of using these. I practiced some of the moves in hooping that I had learned from the Udemy course that I'm taking, but I also mixed in some of the movements that I already knew, and it was just so much fun to play. And I finished out with some more fan flow. So it was a very flow heavy day, which I needed so much for my mind, body, and soul. Ricky. All right, so that leads us to this day, and this day was so freaking awesome, you guys. So I was practicing my tuck planche training, and it went amazing. This is the best it's ever looked. I am very excited about this. I'm just gonna show you guys the reel that I made because it'll just show you guys exactly how far I've made it so far in my planche training, because it's been a long journey. This has been since December and it's already May. And yeah, this is the best tuck planche that I have ever done before. I was so excited. I remember being up in the air thinking, oh my gosh, I'm still up here. I'm still in the air and it feels like my feet are tucked. So I looked at the footage and I was so freaking stoked. So yeah, very exciting progress, you guys. It's one of those movements where you're like, oh man, am I ever actually gonna get this? And then you start seeing the progress and you're like, oh my gosh, I really do have to just keep on going at it. So very happy, very happy. I did 4 sets of those then. Then I went into 5 sets of this. Then I went to 5 sets. Next up, I went into 5 sets of 5 pull-ups and then 10 push-ups, and I took as much break as I wanted in between. Now, the main focus of this was to work on my pull-up form, because I have noticed that it's gotten a bit sloppy, especially as I get in the higher rep range. And I noticed that I'm a bit far away from the bar, which rhymes. But my main focus then was to stay close to the bar and come up straight and then go down straight, which seems like that's what a pull-up should be, but you'd be surprised. Like, I definitely have seen how I get away from the bar and it feels like I'm using too much bicep and not enough lats. So that was my main focus, and they look, to me in this footage, they look way cleaner, they look way better. I definitely could feel that I was engaging my lats more. So it's one of those things where even though you feel like you know a movement and stuff, it's okay to go back to almost like square one and kind of retrain yourself if you're like, you know, I feel like my form could be better. So it's just all about like staying humble and reminding yourself like alignment and form is just so important. So yeah, it's okay to take a step back. Now in between sets, I did use this bench to do like a modified pigeon pose, which I really recommend. My hips they're tight. So elevating like this at that slant makes it a lot easier. And last summer I had injured in the back of my knee a bit, and it's gotten a lot better, but I still feel it. So going into a full pigeon still hurts in the back of my knee a bit. So doing it like this helps a ton. Then I went into 3 sets of 12 goblet squats, staying down low at the bottom for each rep. And I used a 40-pound dumbbell just like before. This has been awesome for my hips and my inner thighs and just staying down in a deep squat. Then I worked on more Indian club training and some V-sit. Then the next day, Justin and I were going to head off to Michigan for my friend's wedding, which was so much fun. So on that day, I decided to take a rest day and just like get everything ready, get the kitties all ready, feed my friends' kitties and all that stuff. So it wasn't as active. But the day after in Michigan, we went to, I can't recommend it enough. It's called Kalamazoo. It's the nature center there. And it was incredible. It's so good. I want to go back there for sure. But Justin and I woke up, ate some breakfast, and then explored a few different paths there. And I mean, we only went through like 2 or 3 of them, and there were quite a few of them, maybe like 9. So it was just so much fun being in nature. It had just rained before we left, and it was still sprinkling a little bit, so the weather was absolutely perfect. And we found this snail, and I'm really excited because I love snails. They're so cute. Look at its eyes. It's so cute. Then we hung out by the river for a little bit, and we were the only ones there for a long time, so it was so magical. Okay, so my best friend and his roommates at the time, there was a black squirrel in their yard and they named it Toby. So any black squirrel that we see is now Toby. We saw so many Tobys in this forest and it was awesome. It was so good. Then something fell down on a tree and 4 Tobys came out and we're just hanging out in the forest. So it was so cool, and it's, yeah, so here's some footage of all the Tobys. We went back to the hotel then, we got ready, dried off our shoes with the hair dryer because they were pretty wet, and the wedding was absolutely gorgeous. It was such a wonderful time with so many of my friends that live all over the US, and we all got to be together in Michigan to celebrate our friends, and I just had so many moments of gratitude, especially like when we were dancing and stuff, seeing just all these people I love so much together. And it was like, oh yeah, this is what life's like about. And like being able to also be grateful that my body could do all these things, like hike earlier in the day, go to this wedding, dance for hours and hours without any like pains, without wanting to stop. It's just so much gratitude. So I think a lot of us don't take time to be like, dang, I was able to do all of this without even thinking about it. Like, this is why we work out, to do things that we love. better and easier without pain kind of thing. So yeah, it was so wonderful. There were bubble guns that we got to use, and I had so much fun with those, obviously. Just a great time with great people. The next day we did just drive back, and then I got all the things ready for the week, grocery shopping, feeding my friend's cats again, all this other stuff, laundry. So it was still active. It was just active in a more errand running kind of thing. And that leads us to today, and I have been warming up with the Indian clubs and absolutely loving it. So I did that today, but I went up from a 3-pound to a 5-pound, which was really cool. Then I practiced more planche leans, and I really try to focus on leaning forward a little bit more and then getting my hips up a little bit more. So I wasn't able to hold it as much, but I was able to get my hips a bit higher for that half second, and then lean forward just a little bit more. So I'm like pushing it, And I did 4 sets of these. Then I really loved how I practiced the form for pull-ups and just getting more reps in and stuff. So I did do the 5 pull-up to 10 push-ups, and then adding in 20 Cossack squats total, and I did this 5 times. In between for rest, I worked with the Indian clubs. And then I used the Smith machine with the 10-pound plate right there and the fat grip. So I got some nice rolling for my traps. Then I finished out with some abs, of course. I'm finally getting back to it. I had a little bit of hiatus from that, but I did my 20 reverse crunches and then 20 small crunches. 30 side to sides with some Luna visiting. And then 20 alternating swimmers. And I did this 2 times. All right, so those have been my workouts. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you guys learned something, got some inspiration. But just see that like planche, like it takes a long time, but it takes like a lot of patience with yourself. And remembering that if you put the work in, like you're going to see the results, but it's probably gonna take like a long freaking time. Just like handstands for me are taking a long freaking time, and I haven't practiced them, as you see, since last week, but it's okay. Been focusing a little bit more on planche, so obviously I will get back to it probably tomorrow. But I also wanna do things that bring me joy at the same time. So yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions. Thank you so much for being here with me. Don't forget to follow me at Katie Valkyrie on my Instagram. I have been posting more, finally again. I'm getting rid of the fear of posting because I've been scared to post because I've been losing some followers and stuff. But such as like social media, you know, ebbs and flows. But to have that fear and like preventing that from you creating is just like way more sad. So yeah, I'm trying to like get rid of that and just post freely, post what makes me happy and what I hope inspires people. So, all right, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe here, and hopefully I will see you soon. All right, bye.